So hello everyone, Namaste and Jai Gurudev to those who have just joined. And people are joining us on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook also. We are basically going to take questions on chapter 5 and 6 of Bhagwad Gita. Karma Vairagya Yoga and Dhyana Yoga. This whole thing, the whole session is based on Gurudev's commentary, Gurudev Shri Shri Ravi Shankar Ji's commentary on the Bhagwad Gita. ठीक है, क्योंकि अगर डायरेक्ट भगवद गीता हम पढ़े और उस संस्कृत श्लोक ले फिर तो पता नहीं क्या समझ पाएंगे. बट गुरुदेव ने इतने अच्छी तरह से समझाया है भगवद गीता को, एंड इफ यू स्टडी दैट कमेंट्री, देन द श्लोकास which Lord Krishna told Arjuna, when you study them with the help of Gurudev's commentary, that starts making a lot of sense, and it's the profoundness of the knowledge along with its simplicity. वो कितना सिंपल है लाइफ में प्रैक्टिकली अप्लाई करने के लिए, ये समझ में आता है. दैट इज द ब्यूटी. अभी तक हमारे लिए कैसे था ना, भगवद गीता इज अ सेक्रेड टेक्स्ट, अ सेक्रेड स्क्रिप्चर. उसको कहीं तो रखो अच्छे से कबर्ड में, बस वो कोर्ट में हाथ रखने के लिए, कसम लेने के लिए काम आती है भगवद गीता. बाकी उसका क्या उपयोग है डेली लाइफ में, ये आज तक समझ में नहीं आया था. लेकिन जब गुरुदेव की टॉक्स सुनते हैं और उस पर थोड़ा मनन करते हैं, है ना, थोड़ा सा चर्चा करते हैं, थोड़ा डिस्कशन करते हैं, then the whole thing starts making a very different sense totally. And never, I mean, first of all, let me thank all of you because of whom I have studied the Bhagwad Gita for the first time in my life like never before. I have read the Bhagwad Gita many times and I thought कि मुझे बहुत कुछ आता है, लेकिन जब गुरुदेव की कमेंट्री सुनना शुरू किया और आप लोग के साथ बैठ के जब नोट्स लेना, वो होमवर्क, तब पता चलने लगा कि हमको कुछ नहीं आता है. And that is a very good thing. That is the first step for a student that I do not know. So yes, Vedika, as you have written here, just a second. Comparison is not between yogi and devotee. It is not कि ये कंपैरिजन योगी और श्रेष्ठ योगी, ये कंपैरिजन. सारे योगी में श्रेष्ठ कौन है? जो ईश्वर को अपने दिल में रखते हैं हमेशा, ऑलवेज, एवरी मोमेंट. और देखो ये कितना बढ़िया एश्योरेंस देते हैं श्री कृष्ण अर्जुन को कि एक भी सत्कर्म अगर तुमने किया हो तो भी आई विल नेवर अलाउ यू टू पेरिश. उसका पुण्य तुम्हें मिलता रहेगा. To see this, it is such a solace for the student, for the listener. Such a big promise. हाँ, फिर गुरुदेव ये भी बताते हैं इसमें कि क्या होगा तो योगा कभी अनुभव कर ही नहीं पाओगे. That also he is telling. And immediately after that he gives a very simple system, a very simple hint. लेकिन अगर इतना है तो हो सकता है. See, this is, I mean, when you listen to Gurudev's commentaries, you can also understand how a teacher should be, or how a leader or how a mentor should be. कि जहां जरूरत है वहां पे झापड़ भी मार रहे हैं, लेकिन इमीडिएटली इमीडिएटली प्यार से एक एश्योरेंस भी दे रहे, अरे लेकिन तू चिंता मत कर, हाँ अभी तो मैंने झापड़ मारा, यस तुझे दुख रहा है, आई अंडरस्टैंड, बट कोई बात नहीं, कोई बात नहीं, मेरे पास सारे सॉल्यूशन है, डोंट वरी, यू नो. सो नाउ सी वी ऑल्सो अंडरस्टूड कि कैसे हम बोलते हैं ना, अरे क्या ये कुछ मेहनत नहीं करता है, इसको तो सब अच्छा अच्छा मिलता रहता है, यू नो, प्रमोशन भी इसको मिल गया, रात रात तक तो मैं बैठा ऑफिस में, प्रमोशन इसको मिल गया. And if you are thinking about, you know, why, how come this person was born in this family, कितना लकी है यार, कुछ करना ही नहीं पड़ा, पैदा होते ही सब कुछ मिल गया. We have no idea in the past lives कितनी मेहनत की होगी, क्या किया होगा, you know, संतों की सेवा की होगी, कुछ ना कुछ आराधना तो की ही होगी ना. So that is how, that explains why someone is born, you know, in a particular family or a particular economic situation, or why someone right from their family, they have inherited so much of punya and sattva. They're born in a sattvic family. You know, I feel so lucky, you know, and grateful to have had the parents that I have, because they sowed the seed of spirituality right from childhood. Spiritual discussions where, I mean, I remember when I was 3 or 4 years old, spirituality was a topic of discussion in my house. फिर भी देखो मैंने कोर्स उसके 20 साल के बाद किया. टफ नट है ना. I was told about the Art of Living course for the first time in 1988, and when I just finished my 10th standard. But I did the Art of Living course in 1997, 9 years after that. I took 9 years. And that is why, you know, I feel for people कि अरे मेरी गलती से सीखो, जो गलती मैंने की तुम मत करो. The first person who tells you something so good, you just do it, jump onto it. Bhakt is a very, very big title, right? So, okay, so what we will do, wonderful, see what all of you have written, huh? It's so super. Right, okay, people who are watching on Instagram, I'm going to do my best if I can show you the slides as we show them on Zoom. So yeah, can we start the whole big presentation so that a total recap of chapter 5 and 6 happens here. हाँ, so 11 days है ना, 11 दिन का जैसे कि ये यज्ञ ही रहा है कि नहीं. Yes, we can go to the first slide. Yes, I think people on Instagram also will be able to see. So you see, we started with this. The Gurudev says the chapter 5, Karma Vairagya Yoga, begins with confusion. और confusion किसको होता है? जो intelligent है वही confuse होते हैं. जो बुद्धू है उसको कोई confusion नहीं होता, है ना? और बुद्धू और बुद्धा बहुत similar words है ना? दोनों को confusion नहीं होता, right? Confusion किसको होता है? जो बीच में है, intelligent है लेकिन अब तक enlighten नहीं हुए, right? Next. Okay. या तो कंफ्यूजन में क्या है बेसिकली, जब कोई कॉन्सेप्ट टूट जाता है ना, तब कंफ्यूजन होता है. सो कंफ्यूजन इज अ जर्नी फ्रॉम वन कॉन्सेप्ट टू अनदर कॉन्सेप्ट. एंड ये जर्नी चलती रहेगी. एक कॉन्सेप्ट टूटेगा, कंफ्यूजन होगा, तभी कुछ दूसरा कॉन्सेप्ट बनेगा, यानी कि कुछ नया सीखेंगे. दैट इज हाउ प्रोग्रेस विल हैपन. Next slide. And that is what the job of a guru is. The guru's job is not to convince you, it is to confuse you. Yeah. Go to the next one. So certain very important one-liners for us here. You can read that. देखो, इंटेलिजेंट व्यक्ति को कंफ्यूजन होगा, राइट? वो कंफ्यूजन में अगर विजडम का साथ हो तो ब्लिस अनुभव कर सकते हैं. लेकिन अगर इंटेलिजेंट व्यक्ति में कोई इंक्वायरी ही नहीं है, there is no question asked about life, about the basics of life, then that intelligence, the same intelligence will take one to depression. So the role of wisdom, meeting like this, for some time in a day, is so necessary. Now, what is karma yoga? Karma yoga is not, giving up the karmas and neither becoming feverish about any karma. Karma yoga is doing karma, being united with that entity in you which does nothing. जो कुछ नहीं कर रहा उससे जुड़े हुए रहते सब कुछ करना, ये कर्म योगा है. So established in silence. See, normally when you are in activity, when you are in some activity through your body, your mind is also active. So what Gurudev is telling us here, मन को शांत रखे, पूरी तरह से एक्टिविटी में रहो, ये कर्म योगा है. Silence in the mind, dynamism in action. Right? Next slide. So, what is the choice? If you decide, oh, I don't want to act, you are frustrated, you are feeling miserable, what will happen? हमको लगता है कि हम फ्री हो रहे हैं, चलो छोड़ दो, ये करना ही नहीं है, लेकिन वो मन में चलता रहेगा. The mind will keep holding on to it. So better is to act 100%, complete the task and become free. Cross over to the other shore. Then you are really becoming free. Correct? Next. So to be able to see this separation, क्या separation? कि मेरे में कुछ तत्व ऐसा है जो कुछ करता नहीं और कुछ ऐसा है जो करता है. See, if you remember, there are 7 levels of our existence. You've done the Art of Living program. Body, breath, mind, intellect, memory, ego, self. शरीर, सांस, मन, बुद्धि, चित्त, अहंकार और आत्मा. The first 6 levels are in action. The 7th level is non-acting and non-changing. The first 6 levels, lot of up and down keeps happening there. And the job of the first 6 levels is to help us to reach the 7th level, to get established in the 7th level. तो ये जो भेद है ना, ये जब भी हम कुछ कर रहे हैं, जब हम कुछ एक्टिविटी में हैं, तभी सजगता पूर्वक ये अनुभव करना कि मेरे में कुछ है जो कुछ नहीं कर रहा. Just a witness. Just a witness to all the happening. Next. Yeah, go to the next one. Now, Arjuna was in this kind of a concept that I am intelligent, I am brilliant, so I know it. I know what to do in life, what not to do. But that is why he became miserable. और जब वो miserable हो गए, तब उनको पता चला कि yes, मुझे guidance की जरूरत है. And that is the time when he asked Krishna that please tell me what I should do. So what did Krishna do first? He told him, just let go, drop. अपनी मिजरी से जब उसको मुक्त कर दिया, now Arjun became ready to listen. Then immediately Krishna said, okay, come on now, do what I tell you to do. Act, perform your duty. Step by step, you see, Gurudev has said this many times. Every chapter is a different step. और हम कौन से चैप्टर में है, ये हमको बार बार अपने आप को पूछना चाहिए. Am I in chapter 1? Am I in chapter 2? Am I in chapter 3? It is a progress. Let's go to the next one. So again, some important equations. जो भी कर्म हम कर रहे हैं, अगर खुश होने के लिए करेंगे तो हम कमजोर हो जाएंगे. We'll become weak if we crave for happiness. Wanting to be happy makes you miserable, makes you weak. The moment you drop this desire of wanting to be happy, you see, you feel so empowered. Many people try to take to celibacy just because they have some concept in the mind. They end up in a lot of problems. Another equation. किसी को अगर पनिश करना है, किसी के साथ स्ट्रिक्ट बर्ताव करना है, किसी को डांटना है, if you are going to do it with anger or hatred, then you are going to create a negative impression. You will get bothered by it. Even the other person will get bothered by it. But if you do it without anger or hatred, you will be untouched. So it is not that you cannot take a strict action. It is not that आपके एक गाल पे मारा तो आपको दूसरा गाल दिखाना है. आप भी उसके गाल पे मार सकते हो, लेकिन आप अगर स्वीकार मारोगे, मन शांत रह के मारोगे, तो that action will not create an impression on your consciousness. It will not create a karma. You will still be free. Next. What are the characteristics of a karma yogi? You know, the epic shloka from the Mahabharata, karmanyevadhikaraste mahaphaleshu kadachana, right? So every action is done without any feverishness of the result, of the fruit, of the outcome of that action. इससे जो मुझे पाना है वो मुझे मिलेगा या नहीं मिलेगा, इसकी चिंता न करते हुए एक्शन करना. Playing the game for the fun of the game, not thinking whether I'll win the game or not. What if I do not win? What if I lose? Not without that. Without any hatred or craving. Na koi raag hai, na koi dvesh hai. And such a person becomes free from bondage. A karma yogi, while acting, has the experience of I'm not doing anything. He does everything, but he has this experience that I'm not doing anything. That is the beauty of a karma yogi. In the action, but yet separate from the action. Always a witness, unfazed by senses or sense objects. Unfazed. Let's go to the next one. What are the benefits of performing such an action? Your mind becomes pure. तुम्हारे senses तुमको rule नहीं करते. You will have a say over the senses. And you will start seeing the same oneness in everyone. You will not create new karmas. Next. आगे जाते हैं. So this is the recommended practice for every sadhak, for a yogi, to keep purifying oneself. How to purify oneself? By doing action without attachment to the result. Every action that you do without attachment to the result is purifying you. Every action you do with attachment to the result is creating an impression. Then when you try to meditate, meditation doesn't happen. Why? Because there are so many impressions. Then with the Sahaj Samadhi mantra, you have to delete those impressions. When you do seva, those impressions get deleted. But if you are able to do an action without being attached to the result itself, then that very action is purifying. Next. Yeah, so it is like, see, you can do your work like you play a game. Now, when is that possible? If you're worried of the result, you're going to get stressed. अगर result पता है, तो आप sincerely नहीं खेलोगे. So what do you have to do? You have to drop the result. You have to drop the worry of the result. This botheration, will I win or not? This has to drop. Then your mind is free, and then you can be totally sincere, and you will be 100% in the game or in the task, in the work, whatever it is. Next. I know there are certain questions coming to your mind. So yeah, just save those questions. We are going to come to those. So one important truth for all of us to realize, मेरे जो भी अच्छे या बुरे कर्म हम बोलते हैं ना, वो जो भी है ईश्वर ने ही कराया. But we need to take responsibility. We cannot hold God responsible for our actions. I am responsible for my actions, whether good or bad, or I am responsible for my non-actions. Zimmedari meri hai. Next. Yukta, another word for a yogi itself. Yukta, but a different way of looking at it. Yukta is one who is united with the being. United with the being. So what are the characteristics of a yukta? He is unaffected by the result. Totally unshakable, immovable. कोई भी कितनी भी बड़ी दुर्घटना हो जाए, कुछ भी हो जाए, आपत्ति आ जाए, वो हिलते नहीं है बिल्कुल. Always centered. अपने आप में स्थित है, centered है. Next. Now, a very important realization, or for us to know, that we had a lot of good things in our past. We had a lot of good things in our past, and what are those good things? It is just the divine in us in action. The goodness in us is godliness. Because all of us are divine. The divine dwells in every heart. We have that divine aspect. Only when we move away from it, we do not feel it. So the divine aspect is there in each one of us. Even connected to कहना भी थोड़ा सा second level हो जाता है. Because you are that innermost, non-changing, imperishable, divine spirit. तो जब हम कुछ अच्छा करते हैं, spontaneously so many good things happen out of us. See, when you see somebody who needs help immediately, and as an impulse it comes, oh, I think I should help that person. ये होता है. ये क्यों हो रहा है? It is that godliness in us. And उस एक्शन में जो स्पॉन्टेनियसली गुड एक्शन आप करते हो, उसमें कोई कर्ता भाव नहीं होता. इट इज सो ऑटोमेटिक. आपको नहीं लगता कि आपने कुछ बहुत बड़ा किया. देयर इज नो डूअरशिप एंड दैट इज व्हाई देयर इज नो कर्मा. जब ये कर्तापन नहीं है तो उसका कर्म भी नहीं बनता. नेक्स्ट. So that divinity, that wisdom, that light is there within. Only thing is it is covered by ignorance, like the husk covers the paddy. And whatever sadhana we do, the knowledge we listen to, the manan we do, the seva we do, singing of bhajans, all these things are nothing but removing that husk. When you do Sudarshan Kriya, so hum, what is that? You are removing the husk. आप उस अज्ञानता की जो चादर है, जो वेल है, जो लेयर है, उसको पतला करते जा रहे हो, और फिर अपने भीतर जो डिविनिटी है वो फिर झलकने लगती है ऑटोमेटिकली. नेक्स्ट. हाउ टू रिमूव दिस इग्नोरेंस? So here a 3-step process Krishna has given. First thing we have to realize that the ignorance is automatically going to vanish when wisdom starts coming up. Like dew drops vanish होते हैं जब sunshine आ जाता है. It's automatically going to happen. तो करना क्या है उसके लिए? With commitment, you have to lodge that wisdom in your intellect and apply it in your life and integrate it to the level of your spirit. You have to make it a routine. That is why sadhana has to be a routine. Listening to knowledge and doing manan on the knowledge has to be a routine. जब वो रूटीन में आएगा तभी वो इंटेलेक्ट में मजबूत हो जाएगा, और जब इंटेलेक्ट में मजबूत हो जाएगा तो हमारे स्पिरिट लेवल पे होगा. नेक्स्ट. तो अभी वो रूटीन में लाने के लिए कमिटमेंट की जरूरत है. हाउ टू इंक्रीज आवर कमिटमेंट? ओनली 3 ऑप्शंस, आइदर बाय लव और ग्रीड और फियर. If you are in love with knowledge, if you are in love with the sadhana, then you don't need any commitment at all. It will automatically happen. So see, for a sadhak, this is like a guideline. My breath is my sadhana. And my sadhana is my breath. See, can you miss your breath? Can you skip your breath? Can you stop breathing for some time? No. Sadhana is like that. Has to be done every day. Make your sadhana your breath. Next. So, this is what will happen with commitment. अगर committed रहोगे तो क्या होगा? डेली रूटीन में जैसे आप नॉलेज को रखोगे, आपके इंटेलेक्ट में आने लगेगा. यू विल keep coming closer and closer to the state of equanimity. When you start seeing the same in everyone, and then you will be untouched by sorrow. You will not be excited by happiness. You will remain stable. Because you will be in the core of your being, which is infinite joy. आपको बाहर की चीजों पे डिपेंडेंस नहीं होगा खुश होने के लिए. फिर क्या हो जाता है? आप ही हैप्पीनेस के सोर्स बन जाते हो और खुशी बांटना शुरू करते हो. All your actions become such that they become beneficial to everyone. Next. But if you're not committed, then what will happen? You will become like a yo-yo. You will get swayed by likes and dislikes. अरे ये मुझे यही अच्छा लगता है, ये मुझे अच्छा नहीं लगता है, क्या करें यार, बोर हो रहा है, लाइफ में कुछ हो नहीं रहा है, लाइफ इज नॉट हैपनिंग, oh, I just can't stop myself when I see this, when I see that, cravings and aversions. मुझसे अपने आप को रोका नहीं जाता, क्या करें, मुझे पता है ये मेरे लिए अच्छा है, लेकिन somehow वो मुझसे हो नहीं रहा. All this talk is about poor commitment, right? And then your dependence on external stimuli for you to feel good will keep on increasing, and that means misery. और फिर तुम खुशी के भिखारी बन जाते हो. You become a beggar of happiness. A beggar of happiness. So आप decide करो whether you want to be a beggar of happiness or you want to be a giver of happiness. Next. If you are a doer or if you are an enjoyer, you cannot be at peace. कर्तापन है और भोक्तापन है तो शांति से रह नहीं सकते. Next. Now, this is very interesting. आपने कुछ गड़बड़ किया है लाइफ में, है ना, तो ठीक है, उसके लिए एक गिल्ट आ गया, है ना, आपने पछतावा कर लिया, यू विल बिकम फ्री फ्रॉम इट. बट इट इज मोर डिफिकल्ट टू बिकम फ्री फ्रॉम द गुड डीड्स, क्योंकि गुड डीड्स क्या हो जाता है, आप अटैच हो जाते हैं. एंड यू थिंक दैट दिस इज माई गुडनेस, सो यू गेट मोर एंड मोर अटैच टू इट. And because you have done something good, then you want others to praise you, to appreciate you. You want recognition. And if others give you the praise and recognition, you become even more attached. You know, when I became an art of living teacher and started teaching courses, and at the end of the session, people used to come to ask me some questions, and then I used to answer. And then when they used to go back, they used to touch my feet and go back. Even people who are elder to me started touching my feet. So I had never experienced this. Yes, people who are my young cousins, on their birthday, maybe, they have touched my feet or something like that. But ऐसे तो मेरे पैर कोई छूता नहीं था, और जो मेरे से बड़े वो मेरे पैर छू रहे हैं, तो मुझे तो बड़ा अच्छा लगने लगा. Wow, this is very nice. क्या दो दिन सेशन क्या लिया और लोग मेरे पैर छू रहे हैं, ये तो बड़ा मस्त है. उधर ऑफिस में मैं 8-8, 10-10 घंटे काम करता हूं, कोई ठीक से बात भी नहीं करता, लोग तो बस डांटते रहते हैं. इधर 2 घंटे कुछ करो, और वो भी हम करते क्या है, लोग खुद ही करते हैं मेडिटेशन, सुदर्शन क्रिया. हमको तो कुछ करना भी नहीं है, सिर्फ बोलना है भाई करो, हाँ सांस लो और छोड़ो, कर वही रहे हैं. और हम तो आराम से चेयर पे बैठे हैं, देख रहे हैं मजा, और उसके बाद लोग मेरे पैर छू रहे हैं. दिस इज वेरी नाइस. But then I started seeing the consequences of that. वो जब प्राइड आने लगा, वो ईगो ऐसे ब्लोट होने लग गया. फिर जब ईगो ब्लोट होता है ना बलून की तरह, तो कहीं ना कहीं से तो पिन आ जाती है और ईगो को बर्स्ट कर देती है. So then there is no peace. It used to happen to me that sometimes, I have conducted a very nice session and I myself am impressed on myself and nobody touched my feet. That night I could not sleep. फिर मुझे पता चलने लगा कि अरे भाई ये सब गड़बड़ है. So one has to understand, either you intelligently understand it or your experiences will teach you. Like I went through my experiences, और मुझे पता चलने लगा there is something inside us that is making us do those good things. We are just an instrument कि वो अच्छी चीज हमारे से हो रही है. तो अगर वो पैर पड़ रहे हैं ना, I tell you this incident. तो मेरे जैसी एक आर्ट ऑफ लिविंग टीचर गुरुदेव को मिलने आए थे, लेकिन मैं तो बड़ा खुश होता था, लेकिन उनको ना बड़ा अजीब लगता था लोग उनके पैर छूते हैं. He used to feel very awkward and embarrassed. So he came to Gurudev and he told Gurudev, ये ना मुझे बहुत अजीब लगता है, कोर्स में सिखाता हूं और फिर लोग मेरे पैर छूते हैं. तो गुरुदेव बोले, अच्छा लोग तुम्हारे पैर छूते हैं? हाँ गुरुदेव, वो सेशन पूरा हो जाता है और कभी कभी तो लाइन लग जाती है, लोग पैर छूते हैं, झुकते हैं, ऐसे मेरे पैर टच करते हैं. अच्छा तुम्हारे पैर छूते हैं? गुरुदेव बोलते हैं। फिर वो बोल रहे हैं, हाँ गुरुदेव, मतलब कितने बार ऐसा होता है कि मेरे पैर छूते हैं। फिर गुरुदेव बोले, अच्छा तुम्हारे पैर छूते हैं? फिर बोला, हाँ गुरुदेव, वही तो मैं बोल रहा हूँ, मतलब वो मेरे पैर छूते रहते हैं। गुरुदेव फिर बोले, अच्छा तुम्हारे पैर छूते हैं? फिर ना उसको थोड़ा डाउट आया कि अरे गुरुदेव बार बार एक ही सवाल पूछ रहे हैं। बोला, हाँ गुरुदेव, वो मेरे पैर छूते हैं। फिर गुरुदेव फिर से बोले, अच्छा तुम्हारे पैर छूते हैं? फिर ना उसको समझ में आया, ओहो ओके ओके, आपके पैर छूते हैं, मेरे नहीं। बोला, गुरुदेव मुझे आंसर मिल गया। So it is this, sometimes that realization may come the hard way. Sometimes it may come, effortlessly. But yes, sooner or later it should come. Yeah. Okay, let's go to the next one. Next. So more characteristics of a yogi. Now this is very beautiful. Let's go of all intentions. ऐसा कहते हैं कि जो भोगी है उसके मन में एक दिन में कई संकल्प उठते हैं। मुझे ये करना है, ये होना चाहिए, वो होना चाहिए। और जो रोगी है उसका तो मतलब हर क्षण अलग अलग संकल्प उठता रहता है। लेकिन जो योगी है उसके मन में कभी कभी कोई संकल्प उठता है, और कोई संकल्प उठता भी है तो वो खुद के लिए नहीं होता, वो विश्व कल्याण के लिए होता है। So yogi is one who can let go of all the intentions. कुछ नहीं चाहिए। Now the second point is very important. Faith in both science and spirituality. There is a very good balance. And the third point, so difficult, but this is how a yogi is. He sees the sinner and the saint equanimously. कोई पापी व्यक्ति हो, कोई पुण्यवान व्यक्ति हो, दोनों को उसी दृष्टि से देख सकता है। Mind is united with the big mind, the whole existence. Individual consciousness and universal consciousness, जिसके एक हो गए आत्मा और परमात्मा, तो मेरे भीतर जो है और बाहर जो है सब एक है। So that is what our aim should be. Yeah, next. So we have to train our mind so that we become like a yogi. We have to train our mind. अगर mind हमारा untrained है तो mind हमारा दुश्मन बन जाता है. An untrained mind becomes our enemy. The trained mind will remain in our control and will become our friend. Then that same mind uplifts us. Then the godliness shines through us. Mind को train किए बगैर ये नहीं होगा. We want the divinity within to shine. Mind को train करना पड़ेगा. Right? Next. So, what is the law of yoga? Moderation. मध्यम मार्ग. किसी चीज की अति नहीं करनी है. ना एक्टिविटी की, ना खाने पीने की, ना रेस्ट की. Not going to any extremes. Yeah. Next. So, when the mind goes on small things, you bring it back to the big things, the infinite, the Brahman. When the mind goes outwards to seek pleasure, you bring the mind inwards. When the mind goes for small desires, in want of joy, take the mind inwards and experience that the real joy is inside. Rest in the self, in the being. This we have to continuously keep doing. Next. तो अभी आपको मन को स्थिर करना है, ध्यान करना है. तो ध्यान के लिए ये जरूरी है कि आप पहले आसन करो. आसन करोगे तो स्थिरता से बैठ सकोगे. अगर शरीर स्थिर होगा तो मन स्थिर होगा फिर. If your body is restless, even the mind will become restless. That is the importance of asanas. It steadies the mind, it steadies the body. एक पोजीशन में बैठ सकते हैं आप 15 मिनट, 20 मिनट, आधा घंटा. देखो एडवांस कोर्स करने जाते हैं, मेडिटेशन लंबे लंबे होते हैं, फिर उसमें बार बार हम पैर लंबा करते हैं, फिर पैर फोल्ड करते हैं, फिर हाथ ऐसे करते हैं, वैसे करते हैं. मेडिटेशन डिस्टर्ब होता है. बट इफ यू कैन सिट इन वन पोजीशन फॉर 1 hour, for 2 hours, just imagine what depth of meditation you can go to, isn't it? Yeah. Next. Your consciousness molds as per your thoughts. तो जब भी कुछ एजिटेशन होता है, why it is happening? Because आपका मन किसी नेगेटिव घटना या नेगेटिव किसी व्यक्ति में कुछ नेगेटिविटी देख रहा है और बार बार उस पे लगा है, तो हम नेगेटिव हो रहे हैं. You shift your focus. At that time, you remember something positive. Take your mind to Gurudev or to Krishna, Shiva, something positive. Immediately, you will notice the shift happens. Yeah. Next. Important insights. So, ये हवा की तरह है विचार और इच्छाएं. ये जैसे ज्योति को डिस्ट्रैक्ट करते हैं, वैसे आपका माइंड डिस्ट्रैक्ट होता रहता है. राइट? सो दैट इज व्हाई steadying the desires and distracting thoughts are like that wind. So if you have a say over the desires, then only you will be able to steady that flame. Next. Yeah. The self equal to Guru equal to the universal spirit. गुरुदेव को जब ये पूछा कि आप में और मुझ में क्या अंतर है, तो गुरुदेव बोले कोई अंतर नहीं, जो तू है सो मैं हूं. फर्क क्या है? तुम फर्क देखते रहते हो, मैं फर्क देखता नहीं. दिस इज बॉडी से. जब तक हम भेद देखते रहेंगे, हम भेद में ही अटके रहेंगे और वो भेद बढ़ता जाएगा. जब हम वननेस को देखेंगे तो वननेस बढ़ेगा. वॉट एवर योर अटेंशन गोज ऑन, दैट एस्पेक्ट ग्रोज इन योर लाइफ. राइट? नेक्स्ट. The 3 types of desires. Some desires are, our innermost cravings. Some are not ours. They are someone else's desires. और वो हमारे में आ जाते हैं. और कोई desires ना हमारे ना किसी और के, just समय ऐसा होता है और हमारे में कुछ इच्छाएं आने लगती है, या maybe some past karmas. Next. The yogi has a say over the desires. And when you have a say over your desires, that is the state of nirvana. So what is the mechanics of pleasure or desire? जब भी कोई प्लेजर हम अनुभव करते हैं, हमें लगता है कि हम किसी वस्तु या परिस्थिति के वजह से हमने वो प्लेजर अनुभव किया. जैसे हमारा फोकस उस वस्तु पे जाने लगेगा, तो थोड़ी ही देर बाद वो सुख खत्म हो जाता है and we become miserable. Next. But if we take the focus within the pleasure, we experience that pleasure, but actually it was the pleasure of the source of joy which is inside me. Yeah, go to the next slide. तो जब भी आप ये जानोगे कि वो जो प्लेजर था, मुझे उसने जोड़ दिया मेरे स्रोत के साथ, इसके लिए मुझे सुख अनुभव हो रहा है. वो गुलाब जामुन खाया, इसके लिए सुख नहीं हो रहा है. इट वॉज द ईटिंग द गुलाब जामुन वॉज जस्ट अ ट्रिगर टू कनेक्ट मी टू द जॉय इनसाइड. देन माई हैप्पीनेस विल बी बियॉन्ड माई सेंसेस, एंड देन आई विल बिकम मोर एंड मोर स्टेबल. And this is the duty of every human being, to come to that stability where you will experience the union of body, mind, and spirit. Duty is the duty of every human being. Union of body, mind, and spirit. Duty. It's a very powerful word there. Next. So important guidelines again here. ये जो affirmations, especially the Western education on the mind gives a lot of importance to affirmations and mindfulness. And ये सब अपना mindfulness नहीं है, अपना mind emptiness है. It's not mindfulness. Mindfulness is the junior level. We are talking about mind emptiness. मन जितना खाली होगा उतना मस्त होगा. भरा हुआ मन कभी मस्त नहीं रहता. भरा हुआ मन तो एक बोझ बन जाता है. When you are stressed, your mind is full of thoughts. When you are relaxed, your mind is free of thoughts. And तभी intuition develops. तो किसी भी चीज की अति नहीं करनी है. We don't go galloping on affirmations. We in fact empty the mind. Not too much becoming too emotional, not too much of thinking. Yeah, next. So gently bring the mind back if it is going astray. So you can use various mediums to bring the mind back. शरीर के स्तर पर मन को ले आओ. आसन करते हैं तो क्या हो जाता है? बाहर बिखरा हुआ मन शरीर के स्तर पर आ जाता है. राइट? प्राणायाम करते हैं तो क्या होता है? बाहर बिखरा हुआ मन सांस पर आ जाता है. सहज समाधि करते हैं तो क्या होता है? बाहर बिखरा हुआ मन मंत्र पर केंद्रित हो जाता है. भजन करते हैं, चैंटिंग करते हैं तो क्या होता है? बाहर बिखरा हुआ मन उन वाइब्रेशंस पे केंद्रित होता है. You have to bring the mind through various ways, then you can relax in your being. Next. So how to walk on the path? Slowly and gradually. Do not be impatient. Do not become feverish. With firm understanding in the intellect. बुद्धि का उपयोग करना है. जैसे अभी कर रहे हैं ना बुद्धि का उपयोग. समझ रहे हैं ना एक एक चीज. एंड ए फर्म कन्विक्शन. पूरे दृढ़ विश्वास के साथ कि यस द पाथ लेड आउट बाय माय गुरु, द नॉलेज दैट माय गुरु इज गिविंग मी, दिस इज द वन, दिस इज द थिंग which is going to enable me to progress materially as well as spiritually. Then you will be able to rest your mind in the spirit, in the infinite being. Next. तो ये इस भाव के साथ नहीं रहना है. I am better than someone else. Even if you might have done 25, 30, 40, 50 advanced courses, you might be an art of living teacher, whatever prefixes you have, whatever your CV says, I am better. Even an enlightened person, enlightenment की निशानी ये है कि वो अपने आप को दूसरों से बेटर इस नजर से नहीं देखते, एक ही इस भाव से देखते. Next. See, Krishna kept telling Arjuna, you are my dear friend. Arjuna literally pleaded to Krishna, please guide me. But Krishna kept telling Arjuna, you are my dear friend. He never said, Arjuna, come on, I am the knowledgeable one, I will give you knowledge now. No. So two important principles for controlling the mind. Practice and dispassion. अभ्यास और वैराग्य. ये दो सीढ़ियां हैं. इस दोनों को कर करके माइंड को हम कंट्रोल कर सकते हैं. नेक्स्ट. Now, some amount of dispassion is part of everybody's life, like an undercurrent. But if you consciously acknowledge dispassion as the prime factor to move life, then the dispassion will really get more and more established in you. Consciously acknowledge. फिर माइंड ज्यादा इजीली कंट्रोल होने लगेगा. Your practice will also get enhanced. Next. हाँ, आप बोलोगे मेरा तो लेकिन मुझसे तो होता नहीं है, मेरा तो कोई कंट्रोल नहीं है माइंड पे, मुझे तो ऐसा होता है वैसा होता है, मेरा मन भागता रहता है. If you are going to be on this track, then forget about yoga. Yoga here means what? Not yogasanas. Yoga is the union body, mind, spirit. If you're going to be in this kind of a rut, कि नहीं मुझसे तो होता नहीं, मेरा mind तो control नहीं होता है. हाँ, अगर ये है कि yes, I find it difficult to control the mind. What can I do to control the mind? Yes, then there is a solution. Next slide. So what is the solution? Even if you have a little willingness, थोड़ी भी अगर इच्छा है आपकी, a little intention, a little control, then with little skillful effort, the mind will start settling down. With little skillful effort. So you can make a beginning. Little skillful effort. So when you do pranayam, what is that? It's a skillful effort to control the mind. When you do Sudarshan Kriya, what is that? It is a skillful effort to control the mind. For the mind to settle. तो ये एश्योरेंस दे रहे हैं कि थोड़ी सी भी अगर इच्छा हो आप में और थोड़ा सा स्किलफुल एफर्ट डालने की तैयारी हो तो भी काम हो जाएगा. नेक्स्ट. This is what Gurudev said in today's talk. जो नॉलेजेबल लोग हैं, जो तपस्वी लोग हैं, है ना, कड़क उपवास करते हैं, ऐसी अलग अलग कठिन साधनाएं करते हैं, और जो बहुत सेवा में लगे हैं, अच्छे कर्मों में लगे हैं, लेकिन इन सब से द योगी इज द बेस्ट. जिसने ये वननेस को देखना जान लिया, जिसके अनुभव में आ गया, जो तू है सो मैं हूं, जो मैं हूं सो तू है. जो कोई भी एक्शन करते वक्त वो रिजल्ट के बारे में उसको चिंता होती ही नहीं, या अगर आती भी है तो उसको ड्रॉप कर देता है. Who is not attached to the fruit of the action, who can drop any desire, who can drop any intention. Yogi is the best. But now amongst the yogis, go to the next slide. Amongst the yogis, who is the best? The one who adores me, the one who attains me, and who has me in the heart always. That is the best, is the yogi. Amongst the yogis. सब में वननेस तो देख ही रहे हैं, लेकिन हर क्षण, हर पल दिव्यता को अपने भीतर अनुभव करते हैं. That yogi is the best. Whose mind is focused on the divine. Right. So now for a few minutes, we will take, you can stop the screen share. We'll take question answers.
Jai Gurudev Bhaiya.
Jai Gurudev.
Jai Gurudev, everyone. So we had a lot of questions, so we'll try to put a few forward.
Yeah.
The first one, how to be passionate or intense in life while being dispassionate or detached? Especially, how to practice dispassion at workplace where cutthroat competition happens.
Yeah. So dispassion का हमने क्या देखा अभी? Dispassion क्या है? To be able to withdraw the mind from where it is stuck is dispassion. अभी आपको काम करने के लिए, do you think your mind has to be stuck in your work or you have to be focused on your work? What is a more appropriate word? My mind should be stuck on my work or my mind should be focused on my work? My mind should be focused. For your mind to be focused on something, your mind need not be stuck. If your mind is stuck on the work, you will become a workaholic. You will overwork yourself if your mind is stuck. If your mind is obsessed with something, it is going to lead to a lot of stress. When can you focus your mind if your mind is in your charge? When your mind is stuck or obsessed, what does it mean? You are not in charge. Mind is in charge of you. ये फर्क समझ में आ रहा है? तो dispassion माने क्या? My mind is in my charge and I can put my mind where I want to put it. If I can put my mind where I want to put it, that is passion. That is being passionate about something by choice. Let me be passionate about my work means let me focus on it 100%. That I can do if my mind is in my charge. That will happen if I am dispassionate. So actually, if you are dispassionate, you can be passionate about anything and everything. You can be passionate even about those things which you find trivial. You can be passionate about those things which you may not like to do so much. आप समझ रहे हैं ये बात? To be dispassion gives you the ability to be passionate also about those things which you don't find so interesting. And this is a great ability. Yeah. This is where commitment becomes so easy. Then you can be committed to your work even if you're not enjoying your work. Dispassion means what? I am not looking for joy from that external activity because I am the source of joy. Adi Shankaracharya says, Kasya sukham na karoti viraga. कौन सा सुख अनुभव नहीं होता वैरागी को? अरे वो खुद ही सुख बन गया है. वो कुछ भी करे, it doesn't matter. उसको मॉल जाने की जरूरत नहीं है खुशी एक्सपीरियंस करने के लिए. वो ऑफिस में भी खुश होके काम कर रहा है. खुश होने के लिए रास्ते नहीं ढूंढ रहा. तो जो खुश होके काम कर सकता है वो कोई भी काम पूरे पैशन से कर सकता है. राइट?
भैया, नेक्स्ट वन इज कितनी भी स्ट्रॉन्ग कमिटमेंट करने के बाद भी कुछ कुछ फीलिंग्स उस कमिटमेंट को डुबा देती हैं. सो हाउ टू अवॉइड दैट?
Correct. So what Gurudev said, how to improve your commitment, love, greed and fear. And what he has said, make it a routine. Make it a routine. Make the aspect of yoga a routine. The union of body, mind, spirit. ये जितना body, mind, spirit का union, इस पे तुम्हारा focus एक routine बनने लगेगा, तब commitment आपका strong होने लगेगा, तब feelings, you will get a say over your likes and dislikes. अभी देखा ना slide में, you will get a say over your senses, you will get a say over your desires, you will get a say over your cravings and aversions. यही चीजें तो commitment को तोड़ते हैं ना. और जब इसके ऊपर तुमको से मिलेगा, मीन्स यू बिकम मोर पावरफुल देन दीज, देन योर कमिटमेंट विल नॉट ब्रेक. कमिटमेंट को तोड़ने वाली चीजें ही जब कमजोर हो जाती है तो कमिटमेंट मजबूत हो जाती है. राइट? सो अल्टीमेटली इफ यू वांट टू स्ट्रेंथन योर कमिटमेंट फॉर योर वर्क इन ऑफिस, द आंसर इज योगा, यूनियन ऑफ बॉडी, माइंड एंड स्पिरिट. ये यूनियन जितना स्ट्रांग होता जाएगा, आपका कमिटमेंट उतना स्ट्रांग होता जाएगा. बोरिंग में से बोरिंग चीजें भी आप मस्ती से कर पाओगे. आपको क्या लगता है? आप ये अलग अलग तरह के क्वेश्चन पूछते हैं, मुझे बड़ा मजा आता है हर क्वेश्चन को आंसर करने में. मैं वेट करता हूं कब खत्म होंगे ये क्वेश्चंस, बट मैं तो पूरे मस्ती से करता हूं. राइट? Because it is a commitment. I don't have a choice there. Right? हाँ, yes, if there are good questions, तो मुझे मजा आता है. Correct? But sometimes, the questions can become so nagging. Sometimes, you want to say something and somebody suddenly unmuting and saying, but मुझे ये पूछना है कि. But I answer those questions also. Right? So it is happening out of commitment. Now see, we see something on the surface, but behind that there is so much commitment. Now we see these great cricketers like Virat Kohli, Sachin Tendulkar, these great footballers like Messi and Mbappe and so many people, doing, and then क्या मजा आता है देखने को. But off the field, वो गेम 1.5 घंटे का गेम, फुटबॉल गेम हुआ, लेकिन उसके लिए उन्होंने क्या क्या किया होगा? What kind of a diet they might have followed? What kind of an exercise regimen they might have followed? ऐसे ही किसी को गोल्ड मेडल नहीं मिलता. राइट? तो वो डेफिनेटली उनको मजा नहीं आया होगा. देखो, अब मुझे अगर आपके क्वेश्चंस का ऐसा लगता है, मतलब सी नाउ यू आस्किंग गुड क्वेश्चंस, राइट? मैं कुछ उदाहरण दे रहा हूं कि कभी कभी ऐसे होता है. ठीक है ना? आप सोचो गुरुदेव को क्या लगता होगा. जब गुरुदेव को लोग पूछते हैं, गुरुदेव आपकी दाढ़ी लंबी क्यों है, बाल लंबे क्यों है, क्या लगता होगा, मतलब डोंट यू थिंक, लगता है भाई यार चुप, मतलब मन ही मन गुरुदेव ऐसे बोलते होंगे। पूछा तो भी क्या पूछा, आप व्हाइट ड्रेस क्यों पहनते हैं? तो but see, have you seen any time Gurudev getting, agitated or, disappointed like that? कितना हंसते खेलते, कितना भी स्टूपिड क्वेश्चन हो, गुरुदेव उसमें जो आंसर देते हैं वो तो एक मंत्र ही होता है लाइफ के लिए। फॉर एग्जाम्पल दिस क्वेश्चन का आंसर, गुरुदेव ने बहुत बार ये दिया है, गुरुदेव आपकी इतनी बड़ी दाढ़ी और लंबे बाल क्यों है? गुरु सेज वन इज टू ग्राउंडिंग, वन इज फॉर ग्राउंडिंग एंड वन इज द एंटीना। यू सी, दिस इज ब्रह्म ज्ञान। ये अगर बात समझ में आ गई ना तो हो गई भगवद गीता। वन इज टू ग्राउंड यू एंड वन इज टू कनेक्ट यू, दैट्स इट, फिनिश्ड। व्हाट अ क्वेश्चन का लेवल देखो और आंसर की डेप्थ देखो, दैट्स द ब्यूटी ऑफ, दैट इज योगी। राइट, ओके, नेक्स्ट।
I'm already on the path and doing my best possible. And I feel that I've evolved much over the time, but I'm still feeling thirsty and not completely satisfied. क्या हो रहा है भैया?
That's perfect. No? You should feel thirsty and then only you will do something to go further. That's fine, absolutely fine. Yeah.
When I sit down for meditation, there are several times when I'm still fighting off thoughts, effectively not going through a period where I'm not bothered with thoughts. So should I consider these meditations as failed?
See, that depends upon a lot of factors. If there is too much rajas in the system and meditation is absolutely not happening, then yes, meditation did not happen. Yeah. But if there is not so much rajas, and especially if you're doing a Sahaj Samadhi meditation with the mantra and agar vichar aa rahe hain, so in fact the meditation is working and it is flushing out the thoughts. Okay, so it will depend upon various factors. Usko aise answer karna mushkil hai. Correct? So you probe yourself a little, right? What is your lifestyle like? What kind of food you are having? Are you doing asanas? Yeah. Are you overthinking about something and that is reflecting in your meditation? तो ये सब चेक करो। और मेडिटेशन इसके लिए ना सहज समाधि मंत्र, that is the best way to meditate when you meditate by yourself. Or maybe you haven't done an advanced meditation program for a long time. So twice or thrice a year, keep doing the advanced meditation program. You will see the quality of your meditation goes deeper. Next.
कभी कभी मन करता है कि लंबे समय के लिए चुपचाप गुरुदेव के साथ बैठा रहूं। ये कैसे संभव है?
ये कैसे संभव है? अच्छा, ये पहले मुझे पता चलना चाहिए कैसे संभव है, तो मैं आपको बता सकता हूं। वैसे भी गुरुदेव विल नॉट एनकरेज दिस, लंबे समय के लिए उनके साथ, आप लंबे समय के लिए उनके साथ बैठ ही नहीं सकते, क्योंकि गुरुदेव बैठे ही नहीं रहते हैं। गुरुदेव तो यहां वहां जाते रहते हैं, काम करते रहते हैं, तो आपको उनके साथ साथ कुछ तो काम करना पड़ेगा, and I tell you it is very tiring. It's absolutely tiring. I had this desire in my mind that one whole week I want to spend with Gurudev 24/7, like at least 8 to 10 hours a day. So I got that opportunity. I took a responsibility, and I was, it was on a 5-day tour in Mumbai. So I was his pilot. I was supposed to go everywhere with him, reach everywhere 1 or 2 minutes before him, and ensure that he enters the place properly and exits properly, etc., etc., etc. On an average, Gurudev, when he's on a city tour like that, he has about 20 to 22 meetings in a day. So many transits, and every transit of Gurudev is a project, because there are people mobbing him. So 5 day का था वो, 3rd day, the 2 days में ही मैं इतना exhaust हो गया. First day I thoroughly enjoyed, because everywhere I was the one who was, I would reach 2 minutes before, 5 minutes before, and I was the one who was welcoming Gurudev. to whether it was a meditation hall or whether it was a press conference or whether it was a dignitaries meet or whether it was a house visit or whether it was a puja or a satsang, whatever it was. Second day, it became too much. Third day, I did not go. I handed over to some 2-3 other people. Third day, I went in the afternoon. It is very, very tiring, I tell you. Being with him is very tiring. It is inhuman. And you realize कि ये human being की बस की बात नहीं है गुरुदेव बनना. तो वो जो गुरुदेव है ना, वो क्या है? I really have no idea. Yeah. Okay, next.
It is through mind that we feel bondage and freedom as well. Well-controlled mind is the ultimate. But Gurudev says you cannot be in control either. Just surrender. Can you please explain this contradiction?
Yes. See, you will be able to truly surrender only if you have put your effort to control. Without your effort, there is no surrender. क्या surrender करोगे? What are you trying to surrender? When you are surrendering your effort, isn't it? Draupadi was holding on to her sari when Dushasan was pulling it. She put all her effort. At one point of time, she realized, ab mujhse ho nahi sakta. That is the time surrender happened. You don't really surrender. Surrender happens. When the surrender happened, then some magic happened. तो surrender really, आप decide करके surrender नहीं कर सकते. आपने वो पूरा effort किया होगा, तो अपने आप surrender होगा. है ना? सब कुछ किया होगा आपने, तो अपने आप surrender होगा. Yes, Gurudev says surrender. But what is meant by that? If you read Intimate Note to Sincere Seeker, in total responsibility, total surrender happens. जब पूरी जिम्मेदारी आपने ली है, आपने ऐसी resignation नहीं किया है. Resignation and surrender are different. Resignation is shirking away your responsibility. Surrender is taking total responsibility and leaving it to thy will. That is surrender. Yeah? So let it happen through full Purusharth. Next.
Dispassion has been dawning without being aware of it. However, I wondered if I was being insensitive or say less sensitive to life's painful situations. Should I continue to kindle it or make it a priority or back up a bit?
Actually, you will not become insensitive if you are dispassionate. That's not possible. Truly, जब dispassion होता है ना, तो आप ज्यादा sensitive हो जाते हैं. सब कुछ के प्रति, औरों के प्रति, परिस्थितियों के प्रति संवेदनशीलता बढ़ती है. See, you are seeing Gurudev is so sensitive. When people are mobbing to, jump on him, he's sensitive that किसी का पैर वो पौधे पे नहीं लगना चाहिए. In that crowd, he's sensitive towards the plant. That the plant should not get hurt because of somebody stepping on it. Right? And at the same time, he's sensitive to the people around him also. So, in fact, sensitivity increases when you are dispassionate. Yeah. Next.
When there is pain or hurt caused in relationships, especially intimate relationships, it lingers around as grief and trauma. Do we push this away so as not to cause an impression? Or won't this cause suppression of emotions at the same time?
Yeah, see, you cannot push it away. Then you are forcing it. You have to go through those emotions. You go through those emotions. If you just resist it, resist करोगे तो उससे बात नहीं बनने वाली. It will become, the same emotion will come even more powerfully to you. So go through it. And this is what we do when we observe the sensations which are caused by those emotions. सेंसेशन को ऑब्जर्व करना और हैंडल करना ज्यादा इजी है, इमोशन को हैंडल करना टफ है। आपको गुस्सा आ रहा है, फॉर एग्जाम्पल, आप गुस्से को हैंडल नहीं कर सकते, लेकिन गुस्सा आ रहा है, इस गुस्से के वजह से माई हेड इज बिकमिंग हॉट, ऑब्जर्विंग दिस इज मच इजियर. When you start observing, yes, I'm feeling some sensations here, some throbbing in my head, and the temperature is increasing. When you start observing this, the sensation will start dropping. When the sensation will start dropping, the emotion will start dropping. So this is the way to handle an emotion. Handle the sensation caused by the emotion. Then you can handle the emotion. बट ये प्रैक्टिस अच्छी होने के लिए एडवांस मेडिटेशन प्रोग्राम्स, कीप रिपीटिंग DSN प्रोग्राम. इन DSN प्रोग्राम करते हो तो इन 3.5 days यू गो थ्रू ऑल पॉसिबल इमोशंस. वो 4 दिन में इतने सारे इमोशंस अनुभव करते हैं, तब पता चलने लगता है. और वो इमोशंस के बावजूद भी यू आर एबल टू डू सो मच. इज द टाइम यू रियलाइज, ओ माय गॉड, मींस द इमोशंस रियली डिड नॉट बिकम अ हर्डल इन माय कमिटमेंट. This when you start getting, and DSN is really a best way to get this experience. I do conduct a DSN program almost every year in Rishikesh, only except for the 2 years of lockdown, which I really missed Rishikesh. Again, this year we started again, and upcoming March also we have in the first week of March a DSN in Rishikesh. Our ashram is on the banks of the Ganga. So you can literally hear, as you're meditating, doing the sadhana, you can hear the flow of the Ganga when you're sitting in our ashram there. It's beautiful. And in the advanced meditation program, you develop the skill of observing the sensation caused by the emotion. In the DSN program, that aspect in you becomes open to you. Oh, in spite of the emotions, I can still go on. Wow. ये खुलने लगता है. So see, Gurudev has designed different programs कि हम किसी ना किसी तरीके से तो हम सीखें, योगी बनना सीखें. Next.
What to do when the mind seeks pleasure and avoids temporary pain?
Nothing. Go through it. Go through it. What you will come to know after a number of times, this doesn't work. I need to do something else. If the mind is seeking it and you are avoiding that, तो ठीक है, करके देखो क्या होता है ना. Yeah, next.
How to bring balance in assertiveness and agreeableness. Example, there are certain problems where there are multiple right ways to achieve a solution with its pros and cons. But if we're too agreeable, then we tend to listen to others more than to our own intuition. And if we are too assertive, we tend to overshadow intuition. What should be done in such situations?
Okay. No, see, you are assertive, you don't tend to overshadow intuition. If you become aggressive or overpowering or dominating, you will start overshadowing intuition. In fact, you should be able to assert your intuition. Let us put it like that. Assert your intuition, rather than just simply agreeing to others. So see if you can do that. And this wanting to agree to others is because you want to create an image of being nice. So you check that first. कि मैं nice बनने की कोशिश में दूसरों से agree कर रहा हूं. ये आप इसको ऑब्जर्व करो. Next.
How to say no if the balance in life is getting lost. I see this happening even in seva at times. I don't like saying no to seva, and if I do, I feel bad or guilty then.
Yeah. It is not about how to say no if the balance is getting lost. Now, if you know your balance is getting lost, then you bring it back. So balance का मतलब ही है yes and no together make a balance, ना? Only yes is imbalance, only no is imbalance. Yes and no together is balance. So कहीं yes, कहीं no. This is balance. So do that. There's no question of how. How to say no? You open your lips, touch the tip of your tongue at the top of the palate, and release the air and through a sound. No. See, it's so easy. Yeah, just joking. मतलब देखो, कहीं कहीं बोलना पड़ेगा ना, आप खुद ही कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस फेस कर रहे हो, तो आप डिसाइड करो आपको क्या कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस फेस करने हैं. नेक्स्ट.
Gurudev says that we are fortunate to have the human body as our nervous system is capable of expressing the Brahman. Krishna and Gurudev also say that Brahman is beyond the senses. With this context, I've heard of several saints, example Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, Ma Anandamayi, etc., who would lose their body consciousness when they're in the divine trance. So was their body suffering from expressing the divine consciousness? What was happening there?
I have no idea. Please don't ask me about these great people, Ramakrishna Paramahansa, and we are nobody to comment on them. And in fact, I find it quite amusing when people give their analysis about these people. अरे पहले उस level तक पहुंचो. People say Ramakrishna Paramahansa used to smoke. So I will also smoke. Yeah, but he used to kick someone and give them a darshan of God. Can you do that? You do that first, then you start smoking. People say वो शिवजी तो सोमरस पीते हैं, सोमरस का नाम ही शिवजी से आया है, तो हम भी दारू पिएंगे. अरे लेकिन शिवजी गले में कोबरा लेके घूमते हैं, जहरीला कोबरा जिसका पॉइजन निकाला नहीं है. पहले आप घूमो कोबरा डाल के गले में, फिर सोमरस की बात करेंगे. शिवजी is like almost bare, hardly wearing any clothes and sitting on ice. You do that first, फिर सोमरस का अरेंजमेंट करेंगे आपके लिए, है ना. तो ये these so immature comments on these greats who we can't even call human beings. So I mean, I would prefer not to comment on these great people. Yeah.
At one point, it is said.
ऐसे वो गुरुदेव को किसी ने सत्संग में पूछा था, गुरुदेव आप रोज क्रिया करते हो क्या? गुरुदेव भी हंसने लगे. गुरुदेव ने एग्जैक्टली आंसर नहीं किया क्वेश्चन. अब गुरुदेव को क्रिया करने की क्या जरूरत है? गुरुदेव आप रोज क्रिया करते हो क्या? गुरुदेव also had a hearty laugh. Anyway, yeah, sorry, Pallavi, you were asking. Acha, okay, just 2 more questions now. I think we should start satsang. It's already late.
At one point, it is said every action has positive and negative in it. Later, it is said that yogi acts such that it benefits everyone. Please elaborate.
Yeah. So as long as you are stuck in the duality, as long as the negative has a negative effect on you, that time positive and negative has its value. जब भी आप positive negative के परे गए, when you start seeing the terrorist and the saint as the same, then positive negative has no value for you. Then it is the same, right? So see, knowledge has a relevance. You have to see what is relevant for you at what stage. So right now, yes, if somebody takes away money from your bank, you consider it a loss, right? If you say, ठीक है लेने दो यार, मेरा सारा सेविंग निकल गया, कोई बात नहीं. अगर वैसा है आपके लिए, then you are beyond positive and negative. जब तक आपको नेगेटिव चीजें नेगेटिवली अफेक्ट कर रही है, तब तक आपको पॉजिटिव लोगों के पॉजिटिविटी की जरूरत है, उनके बेनिवलेंस की जरूरत है. So when Gurudev is saying that a yogi does everything which is so benevolent for beneficial to everyone, it is benevolent and beneficial to people who want the benefit. But people who have gone beyond benefit and profit and loss, for them it makes no difference. So what can one yogi give to another yogi? Nothing. Because the yogi doesn't need anything. But yes, if a yogi gives me a blessing, कि तू साधना में आगे बढ़े, तेरा कल्याण हो, I will definitely take that blessing, क्योंकि मुझे blessing से फर्क पड़ता है, right? But अब गुरुदेव को कोई क्या blessing देगा? एक बार सत्संग में one more in slightly funny incident. Gurudev बात करते करते Gurudev took a tissue and he sneezed. Somebody from the audience said, "Bless you," and then it was spontaneous. हम बोलते हैं ना कोई छींकता है तो ब्लेस यू, फिर वो व्यक्ति को खुद को भी हंसी आ गई, अरे मैं किसको ब्लेस यू बोल रहा हूँ. तो यस, ये या
Last question, Bhaiya. Bhaiya, after all these years in this path, do you also have questions?
Of course, there are so many questions. In fact, I have still a question from the last part of the chapter 6, which I have asked to 2-3 people who I consider, highly knowledgeable. But they have not yet answered. अगर उन्होंने वो आंसर दिया होता तो मैंने खुद ही वो क्वेश्चन यहाँ पे रेज किया होता और आंसर किया होता. But nobody asked that question also, and अभी मुझे उसका आंसर नहीं मिला है. Maybe in the next season. ऐसे तो क्वेश्चंस तो होंगे ही, मतलब ऑब्वियसली क्या. Yeah, all of us are in the same boat, just that somebody is sitting in the front part of the boat, somebody is sitting in the rear part of the boat. That's it, but we are in the same boat. Generally, I consult Baba, Khurshid Batliwala, Swami Sadhyo Jataha. These are the people I consult when I have questions. Okay, that's it. So I'm not going through the chat now. Maybe there are some other questions, but doesn't matter. Both ho gaya abhi. Already, I think, indigestion of knowledge has started. But we have a lovely singer today with us. And always, see, Gurudev also does this. कभी भी कोई भी ज्ञान की बातें होती है, he always ends it with satsang, भजन. तो definitely अभी हम थोड़े से भजन करते हैं. And we'll just let go now. अभी बहुत हो गया, left brain का काम बहुत हो गया, है ना? Balance जरूरी है ना? So we'll go to the right brain now. सत्संग करते हैं. So Renuka, are you ready?